Welcome to the Lokomotiv Stadium in Tashkent for the start of Group H. It's match day 1 of this AFC Champions League group that pits 4 teams together, 2 very much heavyweights to be in pole position to qualify, and 2 sides who are looking to prove themselves on this stage. Tonight it's Tampines Rovers against Gamba, Osaka. Tampines featuring in this competition as a rare entry from Singapore. They're just the 2nd team from Singapore to play in the AFC Champions League after the Warriors played in 2009 and 2010 as well. They are up against a formidable force tonight in Japanese football. 2008 Asian champions Gamba Osaka, who make their 10th AFC Champions League appearance, a record among Japanese clubs. But it is their first appearance since 2017, and they haven't actually got past the group stages since 2015, and they reached the semi-finals. So they've got a bit of a point to prove on this stage. Gamba Osaka, they're the heavy favourites for this match in particular, despite their indifferent league form. In fact, worse than indifferent, 17th in the J1 league as things stand. Teams not far off from heading out onto the pitch. Tampines Rovers in their changed all yellow strip, while Gamba Osaka will be in their black and blue colours that they know so well, nicknamed the Nerazzurri, the black and blues, Gamba Osaka. Let's look at the Tampines Rovers substitutes. In Uzbekistan, where all of the matches across this pool stage will be played. Of course, you can see face masks on. We are very much in the coronavirus era, if you didn't already know. Sorry to have to remind you. But we've got 6 match days, and the exciting thing about that is that we've got a feast of AFC Asian Champions League football coming to you, of which this one group is one of 5 that is happening right now. We've already had the 5 West groups, but now there is an intense flurry of action that started just 3 days ago and will continue for the next 2 weeks or so, as we see this group and 4 others play out to a conclusion. The winners of every group make it through to the round of 16, and then the 3 best second place teams from the 5 teams who finish in second. So the only way for any of these sides to guarantee their spot in the round of 16 is to get themselves winning their group. For Tampines Rovers, their ambitions realistically won't be that lofty. The Stags from Singapore have done incredibly well to get here, also benefiting from this being a newly expanded continental showpiece. This is their maiden AFC Champions League campaign for the Eastern-based club. It's these teams' first ever AFC Champions League head-to-head, and it's a big moment for Singaporean football as well. First time a Singaporean side's played in this competition for more than a decade. There's one particularly nice story in regards to the team news, because Daniel Bennett was 32 back in 2010 when he played for the Singapore Armed Forces in that AFC Champions League campaign, now known as the Warriors, they are. And 11 years later, Daniel Bennett is back playing for a Singaporean side in the AFC Champions League. He's 43 years old, quite a feat to still be playing football at this level at such a senior age, and the defender's very much still going strong. He's going to be a key man for Tampines in Tashkent. He's in the starting 11 at centre-back tonight. He's going to have a tough task on his hands. Teams are in the tunnel. Tampines Rovers on the right in all yellow. Gamba Osaka on the left as we look at things in blue and black as the pre-match formalities continue wherever you are across the world. It is fantastic to have your company here at Lokomotiv Stadium. 8,000 capacity stadium, opened in May 2012. It's regularly hosted AFC Champions League matches since the home side debuted in the competition in 2015. It's home to three-time Uzbekistan Super League champions, the AFC Lokomotiv. Among the most notable games to have played at this venue is when Lokomotiv beat Saudi giants Al Hilal in the 2016 round of 16. But after that surprise victory, Lokomotiv went on to lose against the eventual runners-up Al Ain of the United Arab Emirates in the next round of the competition. The weather here, brilliant for playing football, perfect really. Goldilocks conditions, not too hot, not too cold. Temperature just short of 20 degrees, not overly humid either. It is a lovely evening for it. The pitch has been well watered and is in fantastic condition. Team's just getting ready to head out. Kick-off under 5 minutes away now. It's a 7 p.m. local time kick-off. And tonight, Chonburi Hyundai Motors face Shanghai United, Korea Republic against Thailand in that one. But our focus on this game. Gamba Osaka on the left, the heavy favourites, up against Tampines Rovers, for whom this is a huge moment in their history, their first ever AFC Asian Champions League match. And this is how they line up. They've made 3 changes from their last outing, which was a disappointing 3-2 home loss against Hougang in the league back on the 22nd of May. In come Irvine Shah and Daniel Bennett at the back, and Mark Ryan Tan in midfield. Your match referee today, from Ravesh Gamini from Sri Lanka. No pre-match handshakes for very obvious reasons, but mutual round of applause between both teams. Tampines Rovers in the yellow, Gamba Osaka in the deep blue and black, and this is how Nerezuri line up. They've also made 3 changes from their last match, which was 0-0 draw in the league, their last league game I should say. Goalless draw at Shonan Bellmare back on the 2nd of June. Gen Shoji and Hiroki Fujiharu come in at the back, as does Rutakao. So Kentamura, the only person to survive of that Gamba Osaka back line, which is much changed. These are your substitutes. It will be really important later on in the game. This tournament complying with one of the main ways in which we've seen football change in the coronavirus era, in that 5 substitutes now very much in vogue as opposed to 3, so only heightens the opportunity for both head coaches to use their benches wisely. Pre-match formalities completed between Tampines Rovers captain Yase Hanapi and the Gamba Osaka skipper Kentamura. Kick-off now mere moments away. And what moments these are for the Stags in particular. It's their maiden AFC Champions League campaign. And they said when they got the draw that they were delighted to be up against 2 heavyweights in their pool in Gamba Osaka and Chonburi Hyundai Motors. Gavin Lee said, "We want to be on the biggest stage, so we have to play the best teams. It comes no better than playing champions of other leagues." Now it's time for the Tampines Rovers players to come out and deliver on the very biggest stage. Motivational words from experienced centre-half Daniel Bennett. Referee Gamini all ready to go. Just waiting on both sets of teams completing their huddles. So Group H off and running. Tampines Rovers making their first ever appearance at an AFC Asian Champions League. And it's a difficult start against the Japanese heavyweights, Gamba Osaka. Tampines can get anything out of this game, it would be a big shock, no doubt about that. Early touch of the ball for Buhari, and goal for Tampines. Not overly convincing, but he did enough. Hana running back. Cut out by Shoji. Bit of a scrappy first minute from both teams. These two in Group H alongside Chungbu Hyundai Motors and Shanghai United. Gamba Osaka and Chungbu very much perceived as the two strongest teams, but it's not necessarily how it proves. As speculative first shot of the game. Kashu Sami deciding to try his luck straight at Buhari. Just joining us, maybe sitting down just in time for the start of this one. Great to have us wherever you are across the globe. Akbanawas in the dugout for Tampines Rovers with Gavin Lee. Very much a joint coaching ticket for Tampines. We've had quite a rise in recent seasons. In 2019, coach Gavin Lee led them to second in the Premier League and Singapore Cup win. Been regularly competing at the top of Singaporean football. Masanobu Tsunami in charge at Gamba Osaka. Had a bit of an uncertain time of things, to say the very least. But they're on the attack here. Half an interception, deflected and off the bar. Gamba Osaka nearly taking the lead in just the 3rd minute of this one. Fell kindly for Patrick. Absolute mess at the back from Tampines. Half intercepted by Memedovic, but then it fell to Patrick. Just look a bit nervous, Tampines. They've not kept the ball well in these early stages. First corner of the game. Headed up, but not away. Now Gamba Osaka can recycle. Just ran out of room on that touchline. Yosuke Hideguchi trying to knit things together, but just clipping it out of play. High press on here from Gamba Osaka. It's worked well in the early stages. Hanapi. And that will just relieve some of the early pressure in Tampines. And Wozniak winning the free kick. Forward by Buhari, but straight into touch. Haven't really found an answer to Gamba Osaka's high press. Gamba Osaka, who I mentioned, have had domestic problems. They were runners-up in the J1 League last season, but this season it's 17th out of 20 teams. Just 14 points from 15. They're in the relegation zone, which is a real surprise to say the least. That was why they ended up parting company with head coach Tsunezu Miyamoto after a series of poor results. He spent 3 years in charge, led them to second last season, which was their best finish since 2015, but football's a ruthless game, and 1 win from 10 in the league this season, scoring just 3 goals in that time. So him relieved of his duties. It's Wozniak. Tampines with possession in the Gamba Osaka half for the first time in this game, but not for long. Nakamura. One over the top for Bosniak to chase. Slightly uncertain back pass. The veteran keeper Masaki Gashiguch gets his first touch of this Champions League campaign. Shepherded out for goal kick despite the hustling of Boris Kapitovic. He's going to be really important for Tampines if they can get him some service. He's their star man, red hot right now. 12 goals in 12 across all competitions. 5 in his last 3 games before reaching this Champions League group stage. He's going to be trying to beat that man in your picture, Masaki Gashiguchi, who's been at Gamba, Osaka since 2014. He was part of the side that won the treble in that year of the J1 League, the Emperor's Cup and the J-League Cup. And the following year got to Asian Champions League semi-finals. Again, not the best distribution from Buhari. Taken down by Nakamura. Not a great pass from Nakamura, but he gets it back. Gashiguchi, not interested in dilly-dallying, whacks it away, concedes possession. If you are maybe a bit late to our coverage and miss the team sheets, I can run you through both 11s, starting with Tampines Rovers. Sazwan Buhari in goal, a back 4 from right to left of Madhu Mahana, Daniel Bennett, Ryan Saniza and Avan Shah. Midfield 3 of Mark Rantan, Seredin Mehmedovic and Kahuga Nakamura. Then Yasir Hanapi down the right wing, Amin Bosniak down the left, supporting lone striker Boris Kapitovic. Well, one back by Hajima. Usami. Neat passing this. Hajima inside. Kurata. Now on the overlap. Fujiharu. Free kick eventually given. Not sure if it's a free kick or just that referee Sri Lankan referee Nivon Rabeshkamini stopped this for a clash of heads. That looked a really nasty one. And it's the Tampines Rovers defender who came off much the worse of the two. Patrick jumping into the back of his head inadvertently, of course. And we have our first stoppage of the game. Concussion and HIA protocol being followed rigorously, no doubt. Sonobu Tsunami watching on. He's had a difficult task at Gamba Osaka, had to come in a month ago with the club in a bit of a mess, to say the very least. 18th in the league. He has managed to turn things around somewhat. They're unbeaten in their last 4 in all competitions coming into this game. Helped them secure home wins against Tokushima Vortis and Yokohama FC. Still in the relegation zone, but at least promising signs. 3-1 win at lower division Kwansei in the Emperor's Cup on the 16th of June, their last game before heading into this Asian Champions League group stage. Just a bit late in there, that trailing leg Rutak out. Forward, but not much Kapitovic can do with that. Offside flag up against Patrick. Nakamura. Will be interesting to see how Tampines approach this game tactically. A side that generally like to play very attacking football. Bit of a we'll score one more than you sort of approach Plenty of attacking players in flair and real desire to play out from the back. But now on the Continental Champions League stage, whether they'll be a bit more in their shell against the heavyweights of Gamba Osaka. Not so far. They've steadily grown into the game after a nervous start. Nakamura. That's Bosniak out wide. Nakamura, overhit. Not sure if it was overhit or he was hoping that someone would be at that far post, but both of the two runners in the box had moved towards the nearest side. It's of course the first match in Group H. All of these games being played in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. It's part of this centralised format, so even though both teams play each other twice, no real home or away advantage to speak of for any of these four sides. Round 1 today, and then match day 2 next Monday, match day 3 next Thursday, and match day 4 next Sunday, and match days 5 and 6 on the following Wednesday and Saturday. So it's a pretty intense fixture list. By 2 weeks tomorrow, we'll be on to the final match day. 6 matches for these teams in 15 days. So that was late in a bit of a rugby challenge from Shikurata. Well, they're being brave here, Tampines. Said they like to play out from the back. They are trying that. Gamba Osaka keen to press high up the pitch. Gavin Lee, pardon me, briefly in shot there, who's been a big part of Tampines' rise. Was assistant coach to the Warrior title win in 2014. And joined Tampines as their assistant coach in 2018, became head coach in 2019. Led them to second in the Premier League and victory in the Singapore Cup. He's got his pocket pick there, Nakamura. Little chance here. Osane, patient build-up, blocked by Saniza, and he had to be there as well. Got him round the back, down that left-hand side, Osaka. Bosniak tries to play his way out of trouble. At the moment, more often than not, Tampines are playing their way into trouble. Real test for this young coach. Thought to be one of the most promising on the Asian circuit, Gavin Lee. Last season led Tampines to second and victory in the Charity Shield. Indeed, that's kind of been the story of their recent seasons. Runners up in 4 of the last 5 seasons of the Singapore Premier League. Here's this attack again. Zanase's cut back. And Usami's shot. It's very good intelligence from Kosuke Onose. Now might be a chance here. Kapitovic dispossessed just as he was threatening to pull the trigger. First slight hint of chance on goal for Tampines, who despite their underdog status have been adamant and not just pleased to be here. Captain Yasir Hanapi saying this will be a good gauge of where we stand. We're not going to this competition just to make up the numbers. We want to compete, we want to win. Aggressive sliding tackle, good sliding tackle from Daniel Bennett, 43-year-old. Does occasionally get a little bit of joking or joshing from his teammates that he is old enough to be their dad sometimes, depending on the age of his teammate. Forward by Mohana. Just slightly late in from Ajima. And again, Gamba pressing very, very high, trying to put the pressure right on, and it's worked once more. Good interception by Fujiharu. Little ball around the corner. Onose helps it on. Good back post cross. Mohana was there, the pressure remains. Another cross in. Half away. Recycled back to Gashiguchi. And that's the first mini milestone for Tampines. They've got past the quarter of an hour mark without conceding a goal. One of the most successful clubs in their region, now trying to show what they can do on the Champions League stage. Toe-to-toe with a side who have no shortage of history in this competition. Gamba Osaka winning the AFC Champions League back in 2008. 5-0 victors against Adelaide United in the final. Again, really, really pressing high. 3 Gamba Osaka players in the Tampines penalty area there. Mohana. Shah. Now goes a bit more direct, looking for the pace of Bosniak. That has caused a bit of uncertainty at the back for Gamba Osaka. They've got something of a new look back four today. Takao, Shoji and Fujiharu all in from their last league game. Goalless draw at Shonan Belmer back on the 2nd of June. Sakamoto, Sato and Suganuma all making room. Well, slightly late tackle from Hanapi there. Touch surprised that he seemed to get away with it. Notice that Tampines not pressing anywhere near in the same way Gamba Osaka were. Quite content to get men behind the ball and look for opportunities on the counter-attack. But now they were nearly exposed again down that left flank, which is where Gamba Osaka have had most of their success. Hiroki Fujiharu finding some good space, but just caught offside. Caught offside by quite a distance, actually, as that replay shows. Mohana. Great first time whipped ball around the corner. That's released Mark Ryan Tan. Could be a chance on the counter here for Tampines. Ryan Tan. First time cross doesn't make it to Bosniak. Nakamura. Just lost the momentum a little bit, but they've still got the ball. This is nice from Tampines, suddenly clicking into gear a bit. Bosniak. Low cross. Away by Murat. Take the throw in. Good block there from Kenta Murat. Centre back and captain for Gamba Osaka. Mohana just loses his way a bit. Neatly done by Kurata. Of course, we've only just got going with groups F, G, H, I and J, but the West Zone fixtures across A, B, C, D and E are all done and dusted. wait to see which teams from this side of the draw will join them in the last 16. And well, with shooting like that, Gamba Osaka have every chance of being there. Nearly the opening goal out of pretty much nothing from an angle where most will be looking to cross. Just got sick of trying to pick the lock through passing. Decided to just hit it. And it nearly dipped in. What a shot that was. Still can't get the ball away, Gamba. Tampines, pardon me. Gamba all over them. Yajima. Manapi. The right winger playing right back, and that sums up Tampines right now, defending for their lives. Physical there from Kapitovic, but okay for the referee's liking. That was the shot from Kosuke Onose. Thumped into the bar. Really hit it. The keeper was absolutely stranded. There was no way that Sazwan Buhari was saving that had it just dipped underneath. Almost at the midpoint of this first half. That's just a minute away now. Clipped ball over the top. Usami just couldn't quite bring it down. They're looking very fragile here, the Tampines Rovers back line. Gamba Osaka getting a lot of joy, particularly down their left-hand side, the near side from our commentary and camera position. The other thing is that if they want to get something out of this game, Tampines, they've probably got to try and keep the ball a bit longer, try and give themselves a break, but they haven't done that there. Patrick wins the throw. Problem is, if you can't keep the ball for very long, it just gives you very little respite. Such a tough test of concentration that will only get harder as the game goes on, to be near constantly defending. Hideguchi inside, over the top by Kurata. Nearly got onto it, Fujiharu. He's making some really good runs down that left-hand side on the overlap, and he's not being picked up at all. Fujiharu, one of an experienced core of this Gamba Osaka's side. Turns 33 in November. Another good chance here. Usami's shot is blocked. Tampines might have everybody back, but Gamba Osaka still don't seem to be having much trouble carving out good opportunities. It's starting to feel like only a matter of time. Yajima. Again, Fujiharu offering space. So key when you've got a deep set, low block defence, to have players willing to offer width out wide. That's exactly what Hiroki Fujiharu is doing. Real test this for Tampines Rovers. Part of a domestic four-way title battle. They sit fourth at the moment in the Singapore Premier League. Top scorers in the division, but with pretty leaky defence. Picked up 21 points from their 12 league games so far. Had a bit of a blow in their last league match before heading into Champions League action. Suffered a first loss in 6 with 3-2 home defeat against Hougang United on the 22nd of May. And then in the last month, their preparation has been focused on this challenge which awaits. Remember that at 9 PM local time, this match starting at 7 PM local time, so immediately following this game is Chonburi Hyundai Motors of the Korea Republic against Chiang Rai United of Thailand. Sonobu Matsunami watching on from the Gamba Osaka dugout. He's done a good job as interim coach across the last month or so. There's Fujiharu again, finding space and causing problems down this left side. Clips the cross in, good header as well, and 1-0 Gamba. Well, he's caused real issues all game down that left flank. Fujiharu puts in a really good ball, and Patrick is there. Tampines Rovers 0, Gamba Osaka 1. Good cross, good header. Simple as that. It has been coming. Gamba Osaka have been putting on near constant pressure in this first half, and the pressure is told. Fujiharu eventually got space to float one up. And the marking from Ryan Seneza at the back post was not exactly tight. Patrick nodded it down. Keeper Sazwan Buhari got himself in a bit of a strange position as well. Didn't seem to be quite in the centre of the goal. And Patrick scores his 5th goal of the season in all competitions. And the 33-year-old Brazilian striker has his first goal of this AFC Champions League group stage. Patrick nodding in. Have really struggled for goals this season, Gamba Osaka, so they'll be very relieved to have got one in the first half in a match like this, in which they're heavy favourites. Fujiharu's cross, and Daniel Bennett was on the line but also couldn't do much about it. First ball was blocked, and Fujiharu got a really nice ball in, the kind that good striker gobbles up. And he did just that, Patrick. One of 4 Brazilians in this Gamba Osaka squad. Alves Thiago, Leandro Pereira and Wellington Silva also there. Almost immediately from the kickoff, we've got an injury delay. Things going from bad to worse for Tampines Rovers, because their skipper, Nancy Hanapi, looks in some serious discomfort. It's not a surprise that the goal came for Osaka, but it's also not really a surprise how the goal came for Gamba Osaka, because Hiroki Fujiharu had been finding a lot of space out on that left flank. And it was his excellent assist that has put Gamba Osaka into the lead. Nothing less than 3 points would have been expected in this game for Gamba Osaka, but that's a very nice nerve settler for them to get. Kurata. Usami. Cute little flick from Patrick, feeling confident after his goal. It was Ideguchi trying to put one through. Japanese have got to just try and see if they can keep the ball for a bit at least. For now, their skipper's back on but limping around. Again, they go short from the goal kick. Bennett manages to get it away, and that's passed straight into touch from Kyoga Nakamura, normally such a good linker of the play for them. This is a different level of football and a really steep challenge compared to what they face in the Singapore Premier League. That's nice though, they've worked some space out here. Mark Ryan Tan has 3 options in the box. Tricky feet, Hanapi helps it on. Clipped up, will come for Bosniak. Rolls it back. Nakamura to hit it. It's a good block. This is Tampines' best attack of the game, comfortably. Memedovic slides it behind. Mahana, good cross. Just about helped away. Nakamura! Not far away. Kyoga Nakamura nearly makes it 1-1. With the half-hour mark just gone, Tampines Rovers finally really string together a threatening attack, and it was a great block from Gamba Osaka skipper Gentamura on the line. Might have just been creeping in. Suddenly pressure on the favourites. Tampines' first corner of the game, only half away. Mark Ryan-Tang. Bosniak clicks it in. And nearly, again, a big chance for Mahana. It looked like it was going to fall straight onto the defender's head. Nappy sees it out for a throw-in. Just lost their concentration here a bit, Gamba Osaka. Tampines Rovers having a good spell in the Japanese Giants half for the first time in this game. Can they pinch and equalise it? They're going to go with the long throw routine. Adu Mahana to take it. It's not a bad long throw at all. Comes back for Memedovic. Mahana. Memedovic again. A flick over the top, and Memedovic has been fouled by Yosuke Ideguchi. This is good. Tampines Rovers fans will be very encouraged watching this. They've now got a free kick in a dangerous attacking position down this right channel. Maybe just contact between the two ankles. Wasn't much in it, but there was enough for it to be flagged. Zeredin Memedovic over it. What can the Serbian produce from the set piece? The 23-year-old lines it up, out swinging on that right foot. Saki Higashiguchi organising his wall. That's a training ground one. He's pulled it back for Nakamura. Nakamura again. Memedovic. Does try and clip it over the top. Safety first, but straight out. Daniel Bennett, the 43-year-old centre-back for Tampines, a key leader within this team. Of course, played for the last Singaporean team before Tampines to reach the AFC Champions League. That was the Warriors back in 2010. Memedovic. Again, reluctant to get the ball in, does so now. Far too close to the keeper, Higashiguchi. Good little spell there for Tampines. Nakamura nearly making it 1-1. Just a reminder to Gamba Osaka that if they want to feel secure in this game, they need to keep pressing forward, look for a second goal. Have generally struggled 4 goals this season. It was Patrick's 5th of the season in all competitions. He's their top scorer. Nobody else has got more than 2. Clips ball in, and a cute header back from Yajima. Nobody was there to take advantage for Gamba. Over the top has too much on it for Boris Kapitovic, who's up there doing his best to keep the Gamba Osaka back 4 honest. He hasn't had much in the way of service, though, it must be said. Memedovic slides one forward for captain to chase, but Nappy wouldn't have got there even if he's at 100%, and you can see he is limping and does not look in a good way. I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if maybe he ends up coming off in not too far distant future. Maybe he's just trying to get through to half-time in the hope that 15 minutes work from the physio can make the second half a bit more bearable. Ideguchi. Great ball forward from Ideguchi. What vision, and it nearly led to the second goal. Runs through to Buhari in the Tampines goal instead. Mark Ryan-Tan. Should be said that don't exactly have great history in this head-to-head when it's done by countries from a Singaporean perspective. Japanese teams have won all 4 previous encounters against teams from Singapore in the AFC Champions League by a total score of 16-3. Gamba Osaka played the Warriors a couple of times in the 2010 group stages, won 4-2 away and 3-0 at home. And they've got the advantage here. Good header from Siniza, needed to be. Patrick was sniffing a second goal. Mahana. Memedovic. Kapitovic coming short to get involved in the play. Ball over, looking for the pace of Bosniak. Kurata. Kurata clips it in behind. Patrick. For Ideguchi. Inside to Kurata. Lovely move this from Gamba Osaka. What's at the end of it? Nearly slid through successfully by Lejima. Ran into trouble there, Kapitovic. And then in his frustration committed the foul. Just lost the ball. And then a bit of a footballing classic, the frustrated forwards tackle. Yajima. Fujiharu again causing problems. Now Yajima. And it was kept in by Usami. Buhari was alert at his near post to keep it at 1-0. I'm not sure if Usami was looking for the pullback or the shot. Either way, did well to identify and find some space. See just that little point, and Yajima knew exactly where he wanted it. Blasted from distance and just over from Yosuke Ideguchi. Not afraid to try his luck, but just too much elevation on it. As Gamba Osaka press for this second goal. Gamba Osaka, who, if previews of this group are to be believed, were set to probably be in a fight with Chonburi Hyundai Motors from the Korea Republic for first spot. And it's only top spot that will guarantee you a place in the round of 16. Round of 16, of course, which will have 8 teams from the west side of things, which has already been decided. 8 more to be confirmed from the east side of things across the next couple of weeks or so. There's 20 clubs competing across these 5 east groups. 4 teams in each group. Everybody plays everyone twice in each group. If you win your group, you're into the round of 16. And the 3 best ranked of the 5 second place teams will also go through. So second does not guarantee you a passage into the round of 16. And from the round of 16, of course, the quarterfinals, semi-finals. And the final will pit the best team from the west against the best team from the east. Teams staying within their 2 regions until we get to that final. The defending champions Ulsan Hyundai from the Korea Republic course, in action across these next couple of weeks. They're in Group F. That gets underway tomorrow. Ulsan Hyundai playing Vettel FC. Already seen Group G get going. Group G, of course, by the end of today will have already had 2 match days. In fact, a great start for Nagoya Grampus from Japan. They've already picked up 2 wins and 2 clean sheets. Group J had its first round of matches yesterday. Wins for Cerezo Osaka from Japan and Kichi from Hong Kong. Osaka, for the first time in this game, just dropping back, not on the high press, which even the fittest and best of teams can't sustain for a full 90 minutes. Instead, maybe just thinking more along the lines of seeing this 1-0 lead through to half-time now. Looking for Kapitovic. Tampines haven't given their star striker much service, in truth. Wozniak just got hustled out of it as he was threatening to pull the trigger, Armin Wozniak. Gasiguch can gather. Hajima inside. Ball over the top. Almost falls for Isami. Acrobatic defending. And Fujiharu, who's been a real nuisance for Tampines down this left flank. Got the assist for the goal, Kurata. And now Fujiharu nearly got onto that. Oh, he's still not getting picked up down this left-hand side, Hiroki Fujiharu. It very much sums up the modern game that actually sometimes teams' best threat going forward can be their fullback. Tampines have got to work out a defensive structure to better stop those runs of Hiroki Fujiharu down the left. Nakamura. Not the best ball back. Under a bit of pressure, Buhari. Fell kindly for Wozniak. Good crossfield ball from Kapitovic. Mark Ryan Tang. Hanapi, the captain, still doesn't look in his best, Vettel, after that injury, but is soldiering on. Wozniak forward, straight at Gasiguch. Of course, regardless of the result, a historic day for Tampines Rovers. Stags playing in the AFC Champions League for the first time in their history. Got to the preliminary stage in 4 of the last 5 seasons before this one. This is the first time they've made it to the group stage proper, though. They've had some success in the AFC Cup. They were leading their AFC Cup group, Group H, last year on 7 points. And the tournament got cancelled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But this is the highest level of continental club football in Asia. Different challenge for them. Osaka trying to pick the lock, couldn't quite do so. Kurata. Imagine we'll have a couple of minutes at the end of this first half, but no more. There hasn't been any stoppages of great length. Good sliding tackle from Nakamura. Maybe Tampines can create something on the break. Kapitovic instead ends up going all the way back to Buhari. There we go, as predicted. 2 minutes added on End of this first half, confirmed by fourth official Mohammed Amirul Iswan from Malaysia. Mehmedovic puts it forward into the channel. Put away by Shoji. Back to Mehmedovic. An inadvertent 1-2, if ever there was one. Anapi. Nakamura. Mahana did get him behind once down this right flank on the half-hour mark. And he has managed to win a free kick there. Ryan Tan just making a bit of an irritant out of himself for the Gamba Osaka backline. Now, there was some pretty strong coaching instructions to Zahreddin Mehmedovic to get the ball into the box this time. Last time they tried something clever, going short, it didn't work. A direct option from Mehmedovic. The whistle's gone. Saki Higashiguchi taking his time over this. Hope that when he sends it in long into this Uzbekistan night sky, that it's that half-time whistle. They can get into the dressing room 1-0 up. And that is exactly what happens. So Tampines Rovers doing their very best on their first ever appearance at the AFC Champions League. But it is the heavyweights Gamba Osaka who lead thanks to a goal just after the midway point of this first half from Brazilian Patrick. Really all about the assist though from Hiroki Fujihara, who's had an excellent game overlapping down that left side for Gamba Osaka. So that means that at the break here at the Locomotive Stadium, it's Tampines Rovers 0, Gamba Osaka 1.
Sounds out good, good. Minuto atrás,
Welcome back to the Locomotive Stadium for this, the second half of the very first match of Group H of this year's AFC Champions League. Fantastic to have you with us wherever you are across the globe. It is a lovely late evening as the natural light fades and the floodlights increase in their neediness and their brightness. The second half that will see Tampines Rovers try and grab themselves an unlikely point, or an even more unlikely 3, against the Japanese heavyweight Gamba, Osaka, who lead at the break thanks to Brazilian striker Patrick's header. So Gamba, Osaka looking to close this one out, get their AFC Champions League campaign off to a winning start. They're attacking from left to right as we look at things now in this second period, in their deep blue and black kit, up against Tampines Rovers, for whom this is a real baptism of fire, their first ever AFC Champions League match, and couldn't have picked too many a lot more difficult in terms of playing one of the big boys of Asian football in this East region. Tampines in all yellow, and within the first minute of the restart, Gamba Osaka will have the first corner of this second period. Bit of a delay to taking it. Referee Ivan Rabeshkamini getting his orders in. Whipped in cross, and Patrick was there again. Could have been a second-headed goal for him in the same match. Just got underneath it. Ended up directing it over the bar. Couldn't keep it down. It was coming from under the ball. It's travelled well over the upright in the end. And so a slightly relieved Sazwan Buhari will look to get us underway, and as they do so often, Tampines passing out from the back. That is very much their philosophy. But they were caught out a lot in the early stages of this game by Gamba Osaka's high press, so it'll be interesting to see how that develops. Nothing much for Tampines to lose here, really. They're 1-0 down in a game they weren't expected to get very much, if anything, from, in truth. Second match in this match day 1 of Group H coming to you not long after this game finishes. Chambok Hyundai Motors from the Korean Republic in action against Chiang Rai United from Thailand. And the fixtures after that really do keep coming thick and fast. Hideguchi again not far away. Tampines under siege a bit at the start of this second half. And it's a good save from Sazwan Buhari to keep it at 1-0. Do feel like a second goal could be almost terminal for Tampines here. Usami's cross, slightly overhit, punched away by Buhari. Wasn't under much pressure, but still didn't opt to try and catch it, and so that means that we continue to be under siege. Gavin Lee watching on from sidelines for Tampines Rovers, pardon me. Looks pretty concerned, and I can see why. Another good ball in. Only just away. Hideguchi once more. Can't quite keep it in. Takashi Usami. Tampines escape. I'll be relieved to have done so. On a big day for them, and big day for their fans as well. Two big supporters groups, the Yellow Brigade and the Yellow Knights, who would have so loved to be here for an occasion like this for very obvious reasons. It's very much not possible in the coronavirus era, in these centralised hubs that will host these games very, very close together. 6 match days across 15 days by 2 weeks tomorrow. And we'll know who's going to win this group and get an automatic passage through to the round of 16. Who might be joining them as one of the better second places. Patrick once more causing problems in the air. Can't get onto that Bosniak. Instead, here's Usami. Onose. Good cross. And Patrick wide. What is going on at the back for Tampines? How has he got this much space? Well, that replay confirms he is onside. And both centre-backs, Bennett and Seniza, had seemingly just sort of given up on him. Whipped cross. And the header is badly misdirected, but big questions to be asked of the Tampines defence, who play this very open attacking style that in a league where they're one of the very strongest teams very much suits them, but struggling maybe to adjust to a position of a higher calibre, which is what you're going to get in the Champions League, of course. Over the top from Hanapi, for Wozniak to chase. Great clearance from Higashiguchi. It's found Isami, who slides it through for Patrick. Looking for number 2. Instead he's unselfish. Onose. Referee immediately tells him to get up. Not interested. Hanapi. Wozniak. Had a lot of the ball in the first half, Tampines. Had more of it than Gamba Osaka. Just didn't really do a huge amount with it. Masaki Higashiguchi in the Gamba Osaka goal, often a spectator. Maybe that will change here. Away by Shoji. Just sliding it back, and I think he was a bit fortunate there, Irvine Shah. It was certainly the wrong side of Kosuke Onose. Memedovic. He is someone that can make things happen for Tampines. He's won a corner. Will give them a chance to get Daniel Bennett and Ryan Sinisa up from the back. Osaka with the lead, but it is, of course, as precarious a lead as one can possibly have. Just one good moment here for Tampines in their back level, chasing what will be their first ever AFC Champions League goal. Hanapi. Wozniak clips it in, only half away. Hanapi round the corner. That's a needless shove from Memedovic. He's trying to shepherd the ball out of play, but the ball actually didn't have enough momentum on it to necessarily even go out for a goal kick. Memedovic, by fouling Fujiharu there, just moves the attack. That was the possible foul up the other end. I was a touch surprised it wasn't given, actually. Osaka the favourites in this one, but it's fair to say they've not had a great time of things in the AFC Champions League in recent years. They've fallen on hard times. Their last 5 years in the J1 League, they finished 4th, 10th, 9th, 7th. They were much improved runners-up last season, but then this season have been really poor in truth, leading to them parting company with head coach Tsuneyasu Miyamoto after a series of poor results. And when they have been in Champions League action in recent years, it hasn't been much better. Just one win in their last 14 AFC Champions League matches. Second could go a long way to securing the points here. Goes through everybody. No one can quite touch it in. It's a great corner right into that danger zone. Somehow it flashes across goal. He did get something on it, Patrick. Sort of clipped his thigh on the way through. Flick header from Gentamura. Foul by Mura on Kopitovic. So all their heavyweight status, Gamba looking to remind the world of what they can do on the biggest club stage in Asian football. Just one win, 4 draws and 9 losses from their last 14 Asian Champions League games. They've not got past the group stages since 2015 when they reached the semi-finals. And Napi helps it on. Nice touch from him. Sharp gives it away. Mose digs it out towards Patrick. Good flick header. And Sami was in there threatening. Taken off him by Bennett. Gets it forward. It's a little clip from Mark Ryan-Tan on Fujiharu. Fujiharu in some discomfort. Last thing the team needs on match day 1 of 6 games in 15 days is injuries. It's already going to be enough problems for these squads in terms of managing their fitness. Both of these sides in league action across the season have, for the most part, been playing 1 game a week. So to go from that to 1 game every 3 or 4 days is going to be a big adjustment. Good cross. And it was towards Patrick, who couldn't direct it goalwards. Very nicely dug out by Shinya Yajima. Did well to keep it in play. He's getting plenty of service, the Brazilian striker. His goal separates the teams. Again, Tampines playing out from the back. Here comes the black and blue Gamba Osaka wall. Hunting them down on this high press. Mehmedovic. Nakamura. It's a nice inviting pass for Hanapi. Haven't looked overawed by the big stage, you'd say, Tampines, apart from a very nervous first 5 minutes or so. Nakamura. Hanapi on. Bosniak. Still going Bosniak. On his less preferred left foot. Manages to win the corner, which will swing in on his right. Or will go short with Mehmedovic. Didn't really get a good contact on that. Do you sense a bit of nervousness about Osaka? They're inviting a bit of pressure here from Tampines, who nothing to lose really. First ever game at this level. Gamba Osaka expected to win it, but they of course have had a really difficult season. Had a pretty bad start, a 3-2 loss to Karisaki Frontale in the Japanese Super Cup in late February. Hasn't got much better since then. But it did come into this tournament unbeaten in their last 4 matches, and improvement of sorts under interim coach Matsunami Masanobu, but they're still in relegation spots in the league standings. First change of the evening for either side. Mark Ryan-Tan, who was back in the Tampines lineup tonight, makes way. And on comes Fazrul Nawaz. It's going to be interesting to see how they reorganise things. He is forward by trade. Mark Ryan-Tan somewhat more of a midfielder, but they're both pretty positionally flexible. Just wonder whether they might go to playing him up front with Kapitovic, who's looked a bit of a lone figure at times. Decent cross, headed wide. What a chance for Kapitovic. He's had so little service all match. And then he gets a great ball in and nearly equalises. Tampines so close to their first ever AFC Champions League goal. What a good cross that was from Kyoga Nakamura. Kapitovic couldn't take advantage. Well, that is kind of chance on which a game can turn. It's really not played much of a part in this match in many ways, Boris Kapitovic. Not necessarily his fault. He hasn't had great service from his teammates. That was a real opportunity. Much like Kyuga Nakamura's shot in the first half. Quick cross in from Usami. Mehmedovic. Nice slid ball through for Hanapi. It was Kapitovic's touch on. For a brief second, that was a 4-on-3 for Tampines. Having, after a rather uncertain start to this second half, are growing into it quite nicely. They're having a good spell of things. Flicked forward by Onose. Comes to nothing. Mehmedovic has been bright, has offered a spot. Kapitovic, who suddenly has space. Still going. Wozniak. Tees it up. Kapitovic tried the spectacular, didn't make contact. As that graphic shows you, Tampines sticking to their philosophy even at the highest level. Made nearly 400 passes in this game to Gamba Osaka's 252. And in attempting that overhead kick, Kapitovic has caused an injury. Yeah, his trailing leg has just caught centre-half Gen Shoji in the face. Gamba Osaka in the lead here. You might not also know that their name comes from Italian word gamba, which means leg, and the Japanese word ganbaru, which means to do your best or to stand firm. Right now, they are standing firm, those legs, on a 1-0 lead. In a game that they were expected to win, but they're really been given a run for their money by Tampines Rovers, who will be proud of their performance thus far. I still feel like if they can nick a goal, there's every chance they can get something out of this, and what a story that would be. Nodded on by Patrick. Almost falls for him. Mehmedovic is there. Good tracking back from the midfielder. Got to try his way, play his way out from the left back position. But that foul will help them do so. Just a touch late on Kyuga Nakamura, whose shot nearly gave Tampines equaliser on the half-hour mark. Certainly more than competed in this game. There's every bit of time left for them to snatch a fairy tale first Champions League goal and a point to go with it, if not more. Against a club with so much history at this level, Gamba Osaka. AFC Champions League winners in 2008, and of course through that got the honour of competing in December 2008 at the FIFA Club World Cup, where they were excellent as well. Beat Adelaide United 1-0 on the route to the semi-finals, as Patrick nearly, if he could have controlled that, could have made it 2-0. Just playing their way into trouble at the back, Tampines. ball through from Kapitovic, who's been much more involved in this second half than he was in the first. Bosniak. Shah. Mehmedovic. Bosniak again. Yeah, just to finish the thought, they beat Adelaide United in that 2008 FIFA Club World Cup and eventually lost in the semi-finals in an entertaining game 5-3 to the 2007-2008 Premier League and Champions League winners. Certain team you might have heard of called Manchester United. So that's thumped from distance. The keeper's missed it and Patrick's bundled it in, but the whistle had already gone for offside. Did what all good strikers do. Gobble up the rebound and worry about whether you're offside or not later, but well, that replay shows just about 3 or 4 yards offside. Yes, Gamba Osaka losing 5-3 to Manchester United. Nemanja Vidic, Cristiano Ronaldo, Dan Fletcher, Wayne Rooney on target for the Red Devils. Rooney scoring twice. And then in the third place playoff, they weren't able to get themselves on the podium. Gamba lost 1-0 to CF Pachuca from Mexico. Cross ending well over the bar. Tampines, for all their attacking promise, haven't, apart from that Kyogo Nakamura shot was stopped brilliantly on the line by Genta Mura and Boris Kapitovic's header wide. Apart from those 2 big chances, haven't really tested Masaki Yasuguchi. It's not been a game of many clear-cut chances, but tiring legs out there in this last quarter of the match. One would expect that to change. Good fighting from Bosniak to keep it alive for Tampines. Mehmedovic. Shah trying to get there. Throwing caution to the wind a bit more now, Tampines. A few more yellow shirts bursting forward more often. Why not? Nakamura. No foul given. Past the midway point of this second half, and it's still Patrick's goal in the 25th minute that separates the teams. A lovely cross from Hiroki Fujihara. And they come down that left flank. Mahana concedes the corner, which Asami will take. It was the man he got assist earlier on, Fujihara, again causing problems down that left flank. Asami's corner to come in right-footed, in-swinging. Flashes through everybody, nobody at that back post. Height on it for anyone who is going towards that near post. Remember, of course, that we already know 8 of the 16 teams in the round of 16, with the West fixtures already complete. Now on to the east side of things. Nice tackle from Mahana. There's a round of 16 matches to be played across September, and the quarter-final matches in late September, the round of 16 games in mid-September. Then in October we get into the 2-legged semi-finals, as that's blasted off the inside of the post. So close to a second goal. Gamba Osaka trying their luck from distance and nearly getting a goal that would have quite possibly killed this game off for them. Fantastic shot from Takashi Usami. whip and curl on that right foot, but just not quite enough dip to pull it inside of that far post. That was magnificent. Somewhat out of nowhere as well. I mean, Wozniak. Jima. 12 games across Group H. Everybody plays everyone twice, so these two teams will meet again. Second meeting coming on the 7th of July in 12 days' time. For now, here's Yajima. Neat ball forward. Anywhere will do stuff for Tampines. Captain Gentamura concedes the throw. A lot of tension out there for Osaka with the lead, but they've been a side struggling for form and confidence this season. Ironically though, it's not actually been their defence that's been the problem. Conceding under 1 goal a game in the league, so they've been pretty dependable at the back with the veteran Asaki Higashiguchi in goal. The problem's been scoring goals. They have at least got one to protect. Shatsu Hanapi fouled there. Hanapi still doesn't look quite right from that first half injury. Now Gamba Osaka set to make their first change of the evening. Kosuke Onose coming off. It's Yuji Ono. Set to come on. It's a double change. Changing both of their wide players, so Kosuke Onose and Shinya Yajima both making way.
Substitution of Gamba Osaka. Player number 21, Shinya Yajima.
Okay, Okuno, number 17, and alongside Yuji Ono. And it's not a defensive-minded change at all, really. It's, if anything, a like-minded change, if not a slightly attacking one. Yuji Ono in particular likes to get forward down that left wing if given the opportunity. As that shows, Tampines more than holding their own. They've had 60% of the ball. And as the game's gone on, they have started to be a bit more productive when they've had it. A lot of their possession in the first half was very much possession of trying to play their way out of their own half, sometimes even their own penalty box. Great ball forward from Wozniak, almost found Kapitovic. Kurata sets it wide. 15 minutes, well, just under 15 minutes plus stoppages left. Not sure they'll remain pretty nervous, Gamba Osaka, until they can find this second goal. Trying to pick their way through. Was blocked by Naru Mahana. Discussion between the Gamba Osaka coaching bench about more changes for now. Still chasing this second goal, and that was another good chance for Patrick, who's had his fair share of opportunities. A couple of headers in good positions. This time had his back to goal and was just trying to flick it into the far corner. Couldn't really get his timing right, and it was brave combative defending too. There is some very active discussions going on between Gamba Osaka head coach Masanobu Tsunami and 3 other coaches, Mitsumasa Yoda, Yuji Miyahara and Arata Kodama, about potential further substitutions. They've made 2, but of course, into the way the world has changed across the last 18 months or so, 5 substitutes per team is a rule being adopted for these AFC Champions League fixtures. So that's excellent from Mamedovic, sliding effort to keep the ball alive. Ball then promptly given away by Mahana. Mahana with the overhit pass. I'm starting to run out for Tampines. Got to throw a bit more caution to the wind. Not much to lose here in truth. Of course, goal difference could eventually end up being important as a way of separating teams. Goal difference, goals scored, and then away goals is what's used. Head-to-head record can also end up coming into it as well. More good work down this left, and it's a decent clearing header from Tampines. So much of Gamba Osaka's threat has come down the left flank. Shot straight at Buhari. As Gamba Osaka chase this second goal. Side with no shortage of stars, Gamba Osaka. We've seen some of them in action tonight. Again, Shoji at the back. Takashi Usami has been bright for them up front. Still yet to see the Brazilian number 9, Leandro Pereira. I understand there is something of a rotation policy going on as well, with 6 games across 15 days very much in mind. On that note, we've also got the Brazilian Wellington Silva. He's one to keep an eye on. We could see Silva and/or Pereira in these closing stages, but maybe with Gamba Osaka more in mind to protect what they've got rather than chase a second goal. They might well both be saved for match day 2. And they've got a big heavyweight clash. Gamba Osaka and face Chambok Hyundai Motors of the Korea Republic. That's on Monday the 28th of June in 3 days' time, so the fixtures do come thick and fast. And the substitutions at this stage of the game often come thick and fast. It's substitution I was maybe a touch surprised didn't happen earlier on in the game. Yasir Hanapi, ever since he picked up that knock at the end of the first half, has looked in real discomfort. He's battled on, but that has hampered his effectiveness, and the more defensively minded Hanapi has replaced the more offensively inclined Iman Hakim. And what a moment for Hakim as well. He's one of the youngest players in this Tampines Rovers squad. I want to put your fingers in your ears if you're of a senior disposition, and I say that jokingly because I was about to say that his birthday, Iman Hakim, is on the 9th of March 2002. That really does make you feel old. Turned 19 earlier on this year. Another chance for Gamba Osaka to get this second goal that they crave. That would quite probably wrap up the 3 points for them. Sami over the set piece, as he so often is for the Nerazzurri, the Black and Blues. Sami's corner. It's a very long one towards that back post. It was deliberately done. Now the ball back in and wide. Well, the whistle had gone, the flag was up, so it wouldn't have counted. It's probably a good thing for sparing the Andrea Pereira's blushes that it was, because the header was not one to remember fondly. It's about 1.5 yards offside. Pereira could have scored with his very first touch. Over hit and wide. Not the best ball in from another man who's just come on, Kazuke Kurokura. So they've made 4 of their 5 changes now. Well into the last 10 minutes of this one. Even by the time you've added on 3 or 4 minutes of stoppage time, you've got about 10 minutes or so of football left in this match. Nemedovic. Clock really becoming the easy for me to say. Clock really becoming the enemy of Tampines Rovers. But if this does end 1-0, it's a very much overused sporting cliche, but there genuinely is a lot they can take out of this. They've acquitted themselves well on the big stage. It's arguably the biggest match in the club's history. The first ever AFC Champions League game. Did reach the AFC Cup quarter-finals back in 2005, 2006, 2007 and 2016, but this is a whole other level. Seniza. Still only 2 substitutions used by Tampines. Touch surprised they maybe haven't made the most of those regulations that allow them to have up to 5 to get some fresh legs on to try and give them something at the back end of this game. We are now into the last 5 minutes of normal time. Osaka use their bench a lot more. They've made 2 double changes, more recent of which are Andrea Pereira and Kazuke Kurokura coming on for Patrick, the goal scorer, and Roki Fujiharu, who got the assist for that only goal of the game. Did seem to pick up a bit of a knot. You can see on your screen ACL facts presented by Neon. 40 clubs participating in this newly expanded AFC Champions League. 20 from the east, 20 from the west. Had 120 matches across 10 groups of 4. 5 east groups, which we're in now. 5 west already completed. So a feast of football for you. Group stage in centralised hubs throughout April to July. And the 8 teams from the west already established. Sami's whipped ball in, headed down and wide. So we do already know 4 of the 8 round of 16 clashes because of those 8 west teams being confirmed. Al Hilal from Saudi Arabia will play Istiklal from Iran. FC Istiklal will play Persepolis from Iran. Sharjah FC from the UAE will play Wada FSCC from the UAE. An all United Arab Emirates clash. And then Traktor FC from Iran will face Al Nassr from Saudi Arabia. Of course, that part of the world, home to Qatar, who will be hosting the next FIFA World Cup in not too long now. Gamba Osaka have got their second and probably taken the points with it. A good cross, and Leandro Pereira was there, and Gamba Osaka go 2-0 up and secure almost certainly 3 points with it. Just caught on the break, Tampines, and Gamba Osaka have picked them off. Straight onto the head of Pereira, who was pretty much completely unmarked. And the keeper, Sazwan Buhari, didn't move. Simple as that. 2-0. And bar a complete miracle, game well and truly over. It's Leandro Pereira's 3rd goal of the season in all competitions across 15 games. Have struggled for goals this season, Gamba Osaka. 2 of their big players in that regard have delivered tonight. Both with their head, Patrick and Leandro Pereira. 2 headed goals by 2 Brazilians. Patrick's after 25 minutes, and that one after 89 as Kapitovic is through. And under pressure from a Gamba Osaka sandwich of 2 defenders sliding in on him, and he poked the ball straight at Masaki Higashiguchi. Nice flicked ball around the corner from Pereira, who gets it back. Could have another here. He's got options too. Takes his time and then gives it away. And that time gave Tampines a chance just to get a few more players back behind the ball. This is Ono. 3 minutes added on at the end of this game. Realistically, any hopes for Tampines Rovers of getting something out of it have probably been extinguished by that Leandro Pereira header. Lovely cross from Shukurata as well for the goal. 5th and final change of the night for Gamba Osaka. And it will be, man, he got the assist for that 2nd goal. I was just talking about Shukurata. Comes off, and it will be the most cursory of run-outs for Wellington Silva, who's going to be a key player for Gamba Osaka across this competition, but tonight it's been rotated, left on the bench. This is that second goal. Nice cross by Kurata, picking out Pereira, who had nobody anywhere near him in a yellow Tampines shirt. So just around 90 seconds or so left at the end of this one. We've had a lot of good moments, Tampines Rovers, in this their maiden AFC Champions League game, and that's their AFC Champions League campaign. Will be better for the run. Quick turnaround time for both of these teams. Tampines got Shanghai United on Monday. Gamba, Osaka got to play Chambok Hyundai Motors in clash between the two sides who are expected to be the strongest teams in this group. Mehmedovic, who's been bright throughout this game. He's always offered something for Tampines, and he's always wanted the ball, been looking to create. Kapitovic loses out. Smash play by Nagasi Gooch. Will be pleased with his clean sheet tonight. So that will be that here at Locomotive Stadium. A brave AFC Champions League debut from Tampines Rovers. They had some good moments, and in this second half, a couple of really decent opportunities to level the game at 1-1. It didn't quite happen for them. And Gamba, Osaka, favourites for this one, have eventually prevailed. Patrick's first half header from Hiroki Fujihara's cross gave them the lead, and late on it was the substitute, another Brazilian, Leandro Pereira, who also used his head with success, this time from Shukurata's cross, with just 1 minute left of normal time to confirm the points. So it's a winning start in this AFC Champions League Group H for Gamba, Osaka. If you remember, of course, coming up very shortly, it's Chambok Hyundai Motors against Shanghai United in the second game of match day 1 from this group. But for now, here at the Locomotive Stadium in Uzbekistan, it is a brave but losing debut in the AFC Champions League for Tampines Rovers. It finishes here. Tampines Rovers 0, Gamba, Osaka 2.